What's up guys, Matt from footballboots.co.uk, and today we're back with the Blackouts. We've got the Evo Power Vigor in its launch camo colourway, which for me personally was one of the ugliest designs of this season so far. So we're going to give it a blackout treatment, and one hint, it's going to be suited to Juventus and Newcastle United players. So stay tuned to see how we actually black out this boot.
As said, for me the Camo Evo Power Vigors would rank in my ugliest boots of this season. So we've decided to dab our hand on a new blackout custom, which hopefully looks like nothing else we've ever created. Puma commonly release camo colourways for when a new silo is unveiled, but this Vigor design was a bit of a shocker. So as always, we'll be using our Blackouts kit for its transformation, which comes with 3 different products. First thing first, let's take off the factory finish with the Step 1 acid. Quick and easy but essential. If we didn't do this, then the dye wouldn't effectively soak into the upper, but the Blackouts kit also comes with a final Step 3 finish to again create a protective coating. Having a clear plan of which parts of the Vigor boot would get the back to black treatment, we only applied the acid onto the synthetic Griptex upper and not the Evo knit sections. This should create the desired black and white stripe look. So now the acid is dried, you're ready to go straight in with the blackout, but instead of using the dye to start, we're using a Sharpie marker to only colour in the lime green detailing to see if it makes the boot look better. The easy part of doing this was that we didn't need to be overly neat, as we'll be applying dye over the top of the entire upper later. This was just for an alternative look before we got there. The Sharpie works on the Griptex material really well. If you didn't have a Blackouts kit, then there's a possibility you could just go ahead using a Sharpie, but the end result wouldn't look as professional. So once we had coated in all the lime green trim, this is how the Vigors looked, and it wasn't too bad. Better than the original in my opinion, but how about we also coloured in the light grey sections too? Putting the Sharpie aside and bringing in the black dye, this time we'll be coating the desired sections of the upper, but being careful to not touch the knitting material as it stains very easily being crystal white, something we found very difficult to avoid. The only way around this would be to use tape.
This is a Chucky Beat production.
Once dyed, here's how the boot looked, and although it was a little sloppy, it's probably still nicer than the original design. Finished with our initial designs, now it was time to coat the entire Griptex upper with black dye to start our blackout custom. What we wanted to do was dye the entire synthetic upper and sole plate black, however leave the Evo knit material white to create Juventus themed visual. For some reason the dye wasn't soaking into the upper as well as Nike or Adidas boots we had previously coated, so the need for 2 or 3 layers was definitely needed. Usually the upper goes almost completely black after the first application of dye, but this time it left a slight blue tone. Perhaps Griptex technology repels water for performance benefits, so it did exactly the same with the dye. First coat complete, here's how they look, and you can clearly see the difference in colour between the smooth and textured parts of the upper, so we left it to dry overnight ready for a secondary layer. Repeat the exact process as before, and there was a little bit of improvement, but again the need for another coating was required, so once finished with the second coat, we left it to dry for its third and final black dye treatment. Here's a look before the final layer, and once again just repeat the dyeing process. One thing to mention is even if the upper doesn't look perfectly black at this stage, no need to worry as the step 3 finish gives the boot an even and premium looking matte finish. So the boot has now had 3 coats of dye, so before we apply the finish, we need to spray paint the sole plate, which really transforms the entire look. I think almost every custom we've done so far has seen the sole plate steal the headlines, so we were hoping our all over metallic black application would add a classy look. Taping a bag around the upper made sure the spray paint wouldn't get onto the upper or exposed white knit, and all that was left was to actually spray paint the outsole. The biggest mistake here is over applying the spray, as this can cause it to crack, an irreversible mistake, so use sparingly and evenly as possible. Just make sure you coat the entire sole plate, including each individual stud tip, but if you find that a small area has been missed, you could always use a Sharpie once fully dry to fill in any gaps. We love using metallic black spray paint as it gives the outsole a subtle shimmering effect, and this time covered up the average camo design whilst complementing the upper perfectly. So now we're at the stage where we can add the final step 3 finish to once again add a protective coating. It also makes the upper look so much more premium. The finish dries pretty quickly, so once it has, you can add the laces once again. But instead of using the stock white ones, we'll be using black laces with reflective silver detailing, which gives a hint to how we'll be capping off our black and white design. So these Evo Power Vigors were Puma's camo version, but we actually wanted to show the brand's famous form stripe logo. The way the boot was made, you could see certain sections of their form stripe on the lateral side of the boot, so using that as a guide we tried to continue the shape for the full logo. One small issue was that the sections that Puma had made were slightly bigger than normal form stripes, so the logo was going to be wider than normal. But once we had made our border, we used a metallic silver Sharpie to colour it in. The sharp we used worked amazingly on the upper. It looked more like paint than pen, which makes sure the coating is even. All you have to do is stay in the lines and the logo left would be sharp. Taking the tape off, here's how an Evo Power Vigor boot custom looks with its blacked out upper, metallic black sole plate, reflective laces and metallic silver form stripe. It was definitely a tough one, but let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, cheers.